We're going to start off with our definition. Okay, so if you remember a ratio, it is a comparison of two values that have the same unit. So the only difference between a ratio and a rate is that in a rate, we are comparing two numbers. I'm judging myself for that highlighting. We're comparing two numbers of measurements, but in this case, they have different units. So you have to write the units, otherwise we have no idea what you're saying. Okay, so some examples you may have seen in the supermarkets or something. They say potatoes cost you $16.99 per kilogram, which means for 1 kilogram, you will be charged $16.99. Or speed, usually, this is more common, 60 kilometers an hour. If someone says they're traveling at 60 kilometers an hour, so per 1 hour, I have traveled 60 kilometers. Okay, so if you realize the rates I just spoke about, right? We like putting them per one, which is what a unit rate is. So I want to know how much am I paying for one, because then it'll make my calculations simple. Okay, so a unit rate means per one. How much is it for 1 kg of flour? How much is it for 1 kg of potatoes? How much will I pay for one book or for one whatever? Okay, so we want unit rates so that we can make calculations easily. And obviously, if you look at an example here, it says we want the unit rate if 2 kilograms, I'm going to say 20, if 2 kilograms of flour costs 20 rands, then we know that we have to divide both of them by 2, which will tell me that 1 kilogram will cost me 10 rand. And then we can rewrite it like so. So it'll be 10 kilogram, 10 rands per kilogram. Now, if you look at this thing here, this is the per, okay? So it tells you for what? What am I being charged 10 rand for? Okay, and it's always a forward slash. Please do not do a backslash like this, okay? Forward slash is this one. This one. Do not do this one. All right. So that's how we write our rates. So for the next exercise, or the first exercise of the day, we're going to determine the unit rates for the given information. Okay, I'm going to do this in case you guys are still looking up here. Okay, says determine the rate. So the first one says 100 cars pass by in 2 hours. So obviously we want the unit rate, which means we want to know how many cars pass by in 1 hour. All right. So if 100 cars pass by in 2 hours, how many will pass by in an hour? That is half the time. So nice, Ashley. We're off to a good start. Okay. So for A, so for A, we will then say it is 50 cars per hour. All right. Number B says you can paint 3 boards in half an hour. So this is less than the hour that we want. So instead of dividing, we're going to, instead of dividing to get to my rate, I'm going to do what? Multiply. Thank you. Okay, so how am I going to go from half an hour to an hour? I have to multiply by 2. Nice. So that means it is 6 boards per 200 sausages were eaten by 50 people. Now, I want to know how many were eaten by 1 person. So how do I get from 50 people to 1 person? How do I find out? Divided by 2, are you sure? If I divide 50 by 2, it's going to tell me how much I need for 25 people. So let's think carefully. Nice, Caleb. I have to divide by 50. So I'm going to say I have 200 sausages divided by how many people I have, which is 50. So then how many do I need for 1 person? Nice. So I'm going to write it as a rate, which is 4 sausages per person. I know it said people, but be careful of English here. Okay, if it's one, then it's a person. You can't say per people. All right. Number D. They made 5 meters of thread to make 2 centimeters of cloth. Now I want to know how much thread I need for 1 centimeter of cloth. So what am I going to divide these by? If I want to know for 1 centimeters. Currently, I'm sitting on 2 centimeters. Here. And I want to know to make 1 centimeter of cloth. So what do I have to divide this by? This one is tricking us a little bit. No, Caleb, why do we not have to do that? Remember what we're doing now? We are not doing ratios. We are doing rates. So they are allowed to have different units. Nice, Londeka, you divide by 2. If I have 2 centimeters and I want to know for 1 centimeter, then I just divide by 2. So I'm going to say 5. Ooh, that 5 was a bit much. 5 divided by 2. So how many meters of thread can I make? Do I need 2,5 meters of thread per cloth? Well, per centimeters of cloth. Nice, guys. Remember, rates can be in 2 different units. Well, that's what a rate is. And we are allowed to have commas in rates because meters, this is a measurement, right? Is it possible to measure 5 of a cloth? Is it possible to measure 5 of anything? If I say something is 0,5 meters long, is it possible to measure it? Think carefully. Think of measurements. Yes, right? When you say your height, you say it down to the last decimal. We're not all 1 meter tall, right? It all depends. There's people 1,5, 1,7, 1,8, 1,9, 1, so it is possible to have decimals in measurements because it's a measurement. You can literally get it to the T. Okay, number E. The car can go 1,000 kilometers on 50 liters of fuel. I want to know how far it can go for 1 liter of fuel. So what am I going to divide this by? Nice, Londeka. Divided by 50, which means it can go how far? 1,000 divided by 50, which means it goes 20 kilometers per liter. And the last one. In the last 4 weeks, Sam earned 2,000 Rand. Now, I want to know how much Sam earns per week. Nice, Caleb. Okay, so we're going to say 2,000 Rand divided by 4, which means he earns how much per week? 500 Rand per week. Okay, so it seems like you guys have a hang of this rate stuff. Okay. Let's have a thumbs up, thumbs down of people that were here for this exercise. Do you guys understand how this works? Would be nice if I could see them. There we go. Okay. I'm satisfied with the amount of thumbs up I'm getting. All right. Let's try different types of questions now. Okay. So this one is going to require us to think. Okay, so first they tell us water is drained from a tank at a rate of 25 liters per minute. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite this as a rate over here so that we have it on hand. So this is 25 liters per minute. Now they say if 3,000 liters are in the tank, how long will it take until the tank is empty? How am I going to work this out, guys? How am I going to work this out? Remember, this rate can also be written as 25 liters per 1 minute. Nice. Nice, Londeka. Okay, seems like everyone else is confused about when to divide and when to times. But there we go. Ashley also got it. So you take what you have, which is, you guys can use your calculators, right? But I just want to show you guys why we have to divide. Okay, it's called dimensional analysis. You're looking at what you have. What units do I have? And what units do I want to be left with? Okay, so I have 3,000 liters. And we said divided by the rate, 25 liters per 1 minute. Okay, just bear with me here. Don't get lost. If I do the tip and times thing, so if I have 3,000 liters times over 25 liters, you guys see that? So then at the top, I'm going to be left with 3,000 liters times minutes over 25 liters. Do you see that I can simultaneously divide, but also get rid of the unit? Think of it as if it was an X, right? Liters divided by liters, they're gone. We're left with minutes, which is what we want. So the one is 30,000 divided by 25, which is 120 minutes. Okay. The next one, how much water was in the tank if it was emptied in 10 minutes? How do I do this one? So this time we have the minutes, right? And we want the correct one to be at the top. Nice. Times 25. Because these units are just going to cancel each other out. Can you see one is at the top, one is at the bottom? So then I'm left with 10 times 25, which gives us, if it takes 10 minutes, that means there was 250 liters. Did you guys understand that? You guys are awfully quiet. You guys are awfully quiet. Thumbs up, thumbs down for this one. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, this is too similar, so I'm going to move on to here. Okay, so you guys should have all seen this triangle before. I'm pretty sure every teacher teaches this. Some of them call it the DSTV because the V is this one, the one that's upside down making the triangle. And over there. Okay, so let's look here. This is the distance, speed, and time triangle, and it helps you remember how we work out each of them. Okay, so distance is always at the top, speed and time. So to work out distance, that's the only time we multiply because you can see they're next to each other, right? Then we move on to speed, will be distance divided by time. So this is for speed. And finally, time will be distance divided by speed. So it's always distance divided by something. Okay, don't ever catch yourself going speed divided by distance because then it's incorrect. But here's a nice summary of these formulas for you in nice boxes. So you guys can either take a screenshot or write them down really quickly because we're going to use them for the next few questions. Okay. Wonderful. Now the first one, if a car drives 200 kilometers in 2 hours, determine the speed. So they've already told us we're working out speed. What is the formula for speed? It is right there. So I'm going to write speed equals distance over time, which equals 200 over 2. And that gives us what? That gives us what? Nice, 100 kilometers an hour. Nice. Okay, next one. I ran at 6 meters per second. How far can I run in a minute? Now, the first problem with this is we have two different units here. Okay, they gave me per second, but they are asking me per minute. Okay, let's first go to what they are asking. How far? Is how far distance, speed, or time? Is how far your distance, your speed, or your time? In this case, my calculation. Thank you. So we're working out distance, and my formula for distance once again is what is the formula for distance? Nice. Distance is speed times time equals. Now they've given us the speed, which is 6 meters per second, times. But now these things, these two have to be in the same unit. So in a minute, how many seconds am I going to find there? Nice, 60. Okay. So then how long? What's the distance? 6 times 60 is 360 meters. Because this was given in meters per second. Okay. A car travels at 80 kilometers an hour. How long does it take to travel 320 kilometers? How long is what? How long does it take? Are they asking for distance, speed, or time? They're asking for time. And my formula for time is what? Time is nice and distance over speed. Okay. Now they've given us a distance over here, which was 320 kilometers. In this case, they're both in kilometers and kilometers, so that's fine. Okay. So 320 over my speed, which was 80. So what is my time? How many hours did it take to travel this distance at that speed? 4 hours. Nice. Beautiful. That's number 2. How far will the car travel in 10 hours? How far? Distance, speed, or time? Distance, which is, formula is, nice, speed times time. And our speed, as we know, is 80 times 10 hours. So what is the distance? 800 kilometers. Not per hour, just kilometers. Remember, kilometers per hour is the unit for speed. Okay. The last one says convert this rate. So the rate that we have currently, 80 kilometers an hour, we want to convert it to meters per second. Okay. So I have 80 kilometers per 1 hour. So we're going to convert these separately. Okay. I'm going to start with kilometers at the top. How do I go from kilometers to meters? We did this in the previous lesson, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we did this in the previous lesson as well. Nice. We times by 1,000. Done. Okay, now we go and convert the bottom. We are in hours currently, and we want to get to seconds because it says meters per seconds. So I'm first going to times by 60 to get to minutes, but then I must times by another 60 to get to seconds. I hope you guys understand these two conversions here. So the first times 60 is to get to minutes, and the next one is to get to seconds, which is what they asked us for. Okay, so what's 80 times 1,000? Our 80 times 1,000 means we have 80,000 meters, because we've converted now, over what's 1 times 60 times 60? 3,600 seconds. Okay, now here's the problem. I don't want it per 3,600 seconds. I want it per 1 second, because that's what they said over here. Meters per second, meaning meters per 1 second. So we have to actually divide this. So what is 80,000 divided by 3,600? Let me check. Let's see. Twenty-two, 2 meters per second. Okay. All right, guys, let's have a thumbs up, thumbs down with this question before we move on to the next one. Okay, I see a few thumbs up, so I'm satisfied, happy. Okay. All right. Now it says a car consumes fuel at a rate of 8 liters per 100 kilometer. The fact that it's not a unit rate means it's already going to cause problems for us. Do you guys see that? Okay. So number one, how many liters is needed? How many liters are needed? Sorry, are needed to travel 400 kilometers. So we have a rate per 100 kilometer. So we actually have a very easy calculation here. How do I get from 100 to 400? So the 8 liters is for 100. So I have to, nice, just multiply it by 4 because I'm traveling 4 times the distance. So how many liters will I need to travel 400 kilometer? 8 times 4, and that'll give you, what will that give us, guys? Thank you. I'm going to need 32 liters to travel 400 kilometers. Now, the next one is a little bit tricky because we can't exactly go straight from 8 to 50. So how do you guys think we can solve this one? Eight liters per 100 kilometer. How do you guys think we can solve this one? This is when unit rates are useful, right? If I find out how much I need, how much I can travel, excuse me, if I find out how much I can travel for 1 liter, then I can take that amount and times it by 50. So let's find out for 1 liter, how many kilometers do you think I can travel? How would I work that out? I would say 100. And then how would I figure out how much Nice, Londeka, divided by 8. So how many kilometers is that? We have 100 divided by 8, which is 12,5. So I know for 1 liter, I can travel 12,5 kilometers. But now they told us that we don't have 1 liter, we have 50 liters. So what am I going to do with this 12,5? With this 12,5, I'm going to times by 50. Beautiful. Which tells me how much? What's 12,5 times 50? 12,5 times 50, we have 625. So for 50 liters, I can travel 625 kilometers. Okay, I think this was pretty simple and straightforward. Now, which car is the fastest? The problem is we cannot compare these if they are in different amounts of time. So we need to get them all to be 1 hour. The first one is already in 1 hour. The rate is just 60 kilometers an hour. With B, I have to divide by what to get it to 1 hour? Nice. Many I see you in the chat. Divided by 2. So 140 divided by 2, which means this one is traveling at 70 kilometers an hour. All right, and C, I have to divide it by 3, which means I am traveling at, I'm traveling at 60. So it's the same as A, actually. So to answer my question, which one is the fastest? That is correct. That would be B. Okay. Hey, it's already brain break. Ain't no way. I'm gonna go past this brain break. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it, guys. Don't worry. Okay. Give the rate in brackets for each of the statements below. 400 words for 15 minutes. I want to know words per minute, as in for 1 minute. So A, I'm dividing by. A, I'm dividing by what? 15. Nice. Which will give me. What will this give me? 400 divided by 15. 26,66. Can we have it, 66th of a word? No. So what do we do? Someone said we round off. Okay. Okay, you guys will deal with that in the senior grades. For now, I'm just going to round off normally and say it's 27 words per minute. Okay, number B, 1,500 kilometers in 9 hours. I want to know per hour. So I have to divide by 9, which will give me, how much will that give me? 166,66 kilometers an hour. I'm trusting that you guys all rounded off correctly. I'm just trusting you guys on this one. You see now. Is it 66 or 67, guys? Now I'm gonna check. Let's fix this quickly. So it's like 7. Be careful. Then we have number C, 58 kilometers per hour, but we want it in meters per second. Okay, we already did one similar to this. So at the top, how am I going to get from kilometers to meters? Times by 1,000. And at the bottom again, we're going to times by 60 and another 60. Okay. So it's going to be 58,000 all over 3,600. And what is 58,000 divided by 3,600? See, 58,000. Let's see, guys. So it's 16,11 meters per second. Take note, for measurements, we leave them as decimals because it is possible to measure 0.67 of a kilometer. You just take your tape and you measure it. Okay. Let's do number D over here. It says 5 milliliters of baking powder per 100 grams of flour. This is number D. So we want to know for 1 milliliter. Do you see where the milliliter is placed? It's over there. So we want to know how many grams per 1 milliliters. So what do I have to do over here? Nice one, deck. I have to divide by 5. So I'm going to say 100 divided by 5, which means it's going to give us 20. So my rate is 20 grams per milliliters. Okay, I see a DM. Ompa, that is fine, but if you are doing a measurement, then you do have to round off. Because if you had a tape, how would you measure 16,66666? It's impossible. So at some point, you do have to round off. You just round off at the end. Be careful, guys. Don't round off if you're going to use that number in a calculation. Don't round it off. You round off at the end. Okay, 40 bricks per half an hour. We want to know how many bricks per minute. Half an hour is how many minutes? It is 30. So then I have to take this 40 and do what? I have to take the 40 and look carefully. I'm saying it's 40 bricks per 30 minutes. And I want to know for 1 minute. So how do I get from 30 minutes to 1 minute? If you times by 30, no. There we go. Caleb, there we go. Guys, remember, there are 40 breaks per 30 minutes. So if you want to know how many I did in 1 minute, you have to divide by 30, not multiply. If they had given us 40 bricks per 1 minute, then we would have had to times by 30 to know how many they were in 30 minutes. So then you say 40 divided by 30, and that gives us what? 1,33. Is it possible to make 1,33 bricks? Well, a 0.33 of a brick? No, so we round it off to? No, not 2, 1 brick per minute. Wonderful. Okay, let me zoom out so we can take our screenshots. There we go. Okay, be careful. We cannot round up, otherwise you will not have enough bricks. Okay, you cannot round up, otherwise you will not have enough bricks. Rather, you have more than you expected than less than you expected. Okay, two drivers record the following during races. Which driver traveled at the fastest speed? So these are both speed questions. Okay, so remind me again, what is this formula for speed? I'm going to write here driver A. Remind me again my formula for speed. Nice, guys. Speed is distance over time. Now we have a problem here because we cannot compare someone that is going kilometers per minute to someone who's going meters per second. So how are we going to convert? I think it will be easier to convert all of them to kilometers a minute. What do you guys think? Otherwise, we'll be working with very big values, right? So the first one is already in kilometers per minute, so it's fine. I'm just going to substitute it here. So it's going to be 18 divided by 4,5. And that gives us what as a speed? What is that as speed? 18 divided by 4,5. Is it exactly 4? Huh. So that will be 4 kilometers a minute. That's driver A. Now with driver B, we have to do a few conversions first, okay? Okay, I'm going to take 14,000 meters. How do I get to kilometers? We're going the other way around for once. How do I get to kilometers from meters? Nice, divide by 1,000. And that's going to give us how many kilometers? 14. Nice. I think it's easier to do this. Otherwise, we would have had to work with big numbers. And then we have 200 seconds. We need to go to minutes. How am I going to go from seconds to minutes? I have to divide by 60. Nice. And how many minutes is that going to give us? Almost said seconds. How many minutes is that going to give us? 3,33 minutes. And you leave it as 33 because it is possible to have 33 of a minute. That's called a second. Okay, now we can substitute distance over time. If I were you, I would always write my formula because we give marks for formulas. Formulae. You guys get what I'm saying. So what's 14 divided by 3,33? 14 divided by 3,33. That is 4,2 kilometers a minute. So this was a very close one, don't you think? So which guy was faster here? Driver B is fastest. So you must always answer your question. Driver B is fastest. Okay, I think we can go to our brain break now. Is anyone going to do the brain break for me? When does 9 plus 5 equal 2? Dum, dum, dum. When does 9 plus 5 equal 2? Does anybody know? No? Should I just say the answer? If you do something at 9 o'clock and it takes 5 hours, when are you going to finish? 9 o'clock, nice, 2 p.m. See, that's when 9 plus 5 equals 2. The next one, 2 mothers and 2 daughters each had 1 egg for breakfast, but altogether they only ate 3 eggs. How is this possible? What do you guys think? How is it possible that 2 mothers and 2 daughters all had an egg, but altogether they only ate 3 eggs, excuse me. Hi, but guys, come on. Nobody? Nice, Maureen. It's the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter. Did I write mother correctly? It looks terrible. Okay, so for those of you who might not get it, gran is this one's mom. And mother is this one's mom. So that's 2 mothers. And the other way around, daughter is this one's child. And this one is this one's child. So that's 2 daughters and 2 mothers. So there are actually only 3 people, even though there are 2 daughters and 2 mothers. Okay, and the last one. Oh, this is going to take forever. Tom was asked to paint numbers outside 100 apartments, which means he will have to paint through numbers from 1 to 100. How many times will he have to paint the number 8? This one you can literally just figure out, guys. You just write a bunch of numbers. How many times does he have to? Okay, I have an answer in the chat. Someone says 9 times. Someone says 10 times. 1 to 100, guys. Are you sure? Someone says 5 times. Okay, let's count. First time is 8. And then at 18, 28, 38, 48, 58, 68, 78, 80, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. Are we sticking to our answers? 85. You guys forgot about the 80s, didn't you? 86, 87, 88, 89. Then it's 90, so it's 98. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 times. Did I count that properly? Remember, 88 has 2 of them. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20. 20 times. Whee! I bet you all forgot about the 80s, right? You probably went 8, 18, 28, and then you skipped all the 80s and you're like 88, 98, done. I know, you had to think about those 80s, right? Okay, now that our brains have had a break, let's do a few more and then we can head off. Okay. A boy cycles for 2 hours and 20 minutes at a constant speed of 80 kilometers an hour. How far does he go? Now, there is a trick in this one, and I'm going to see if anyone can see that trick. Okay. So we have speed. For number A, they gave us speed, which is 18. And we have time. 2 hours, 20 minutes. Yes, that is the trick. This time has to be in hours. So I know I have the 2 hours, but now how do I convert this 20 minutes to hours? Is 20 minutes the same as, what did you guys say again? 0.2 hours or something? You guys are funny. Is it the same? We just have to convert it the way we know how to. How do we go from minutes to hours? Nice, Arian. But it's true. It's going to be a decimal fraction. Nice, Umpa, because we're going to say 20 minutes. We're going to divide this by 60, and that's going to give us, this is comma 3 hours. So in total, it is 2 hours. It's 2,33 hours. All right. Then we can just substitute from then on. They asked us, how far does he go? So distance equals speed times time, which means we have 18 times 2,33. And how much is that? If you have stored the comma 33 on your calculator, it's still going to be 33 recurring. Okay, remember I said try to round off at the end. So your rounding might be a little bit different, but teachers are aware of that, so it's not a train smash. What's 18 times 2,33? Okay, we have 41,94. If you round it off differently, you might actually get 42. 41,94 kilometers. Okay. Number B, an aircraft travels 4,238 kilometers in 6.5 hours. What is the average speed? My formula for speed again is distance over time. And we know my distance is 4,238 over, how do I write 6.5 as just the number? So obviously going to have decimals, so it's going to be 6 comma. Nice, 6,5. So then what's 4,238 divided by 6,5? 4,000, thank you. 652 kilometers an hour. Okay, number C. A train travels for 48 kilometers at 80 kilometers an hour. How long in minutes does it take? So we're working out time here, which means, what is my formula for time? Nice, Mene, I see you. Can someone else give me the formula for time? I see you, Mene, don't worry. I just want someone else to give me the formula. Let's see if we are still there. There we go, distance over speed. My distance is 48. And my speed is 80. So what's 48 divided by 80? 48 divided by 80. That's 0,6 hours, but they asked for it in minutes. How do I know it's 0,6 hours? Because the unit here wasn't hours in the first place. So how do I go from hours to minutes? Hours to minutes. Oh, are you sure? hours to minutes. There's a lot going on in the chat, guys. Let's think about it carefully. Big units to small units. Are we multiplying or dividing by 60? Nice. So what's 0.6 times 60 then? Minutes. Okay. Ma'am, how does a train go at 80 kilometers an hour? That is the speed, Arian. So you know when you're driving and you read the speedometer on your mom's or your dad's car or whoever, it tells you how fast you were going. Okay, so this person has obviously not been going for an hour yet. That's why it's less than 80 kilometers. So in 36 minutes, he has gotten as far as 48 kilometers. But like after exactly an hour, then we expect him to be at 80 kilometers. Then after exactly 2 hours, he has to be at 160 kilometers. So the 80 is the speed, not the distance. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, guys. I'm going to do one last one. Speed of 90 kilometers an hour in kilometers per minute. At least we're only converting one. Okay, the kilometers stay the same. But the 1 hour has to change to minutes. How do I go from hour to minutes again? We just did it. Hours to minutes. We're just converting here, guys. Hours to minutes. One more, guys. Times 60. So then it's going to be 90 kilometers over 60 minutes, but we don't want that. I want to know what it is for 1 minute. So what is 90 divided by 60? Let's see. 90 divided by 60. That means this person is traveling at 1.5 kilometer per minute. Okay, guys, we can end off our lesson here. I will see you guys on Thursday.